Hello my friends, and welcome back to another beautifully polygonal day here on this procedurally generated community Minecraft server. I'm over here at my ship, and before I get started today, I'm going to remind myself that the front of the ship is the fore or bow, and the rear of the ship is the aft or stern. I've got it, and speaking of got it, I've got this thing almost completely dried out. Look at that. I spent a lot of time doing this earlier today, last night as well. And we're down here to the very last little bit, so for the final push, right? So I think I've got enough sand to make do for at least another section of 2, and then I'll have to knock back maybe half of this and then fill in the rest. But it shouldn't take too much longer. I think that's going to take me maybe another, 20, 30 minutes, I think. And then we'll have a completely empty, that is to say, drained of water vessel, which is what we'd like. Well, except for the water we intend for it to be there. And then we'll come in and we'll kind of dress up this bottom section and the sides and see how everything looks and how things are going to fit in that I want snugged into the ship. So let me get rid of this stuff and then we'll get you all caught up. Thank you for joining me for today's big adventure. Good morning, my friends. Rise and shine. We're back here at the ship and it is dry. Check it out. Oh, wow, you can totally see the lighthouse too. But hey, the ship is completely dried out now. Huzzah, huzzah. We've got some things done, and now it's starting to get them together. Man, that looks really cool over there. I'm distracting myself by checking it out. But, okay, here's what we've got going on. I need to do something, and I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I think the rounding that I was going for is there, and I think I'm going to leave out from the macro. I think I'm going to leave out the stairs that would generate even more additional rounding, because that might be a little too micro for this size build. And besides, I want to be able to kind of do some things where you'll be able to see the structures that are highlighted in the build so that if somebody were to come along, they can see how it was built, So I'm going to use a lot of glass in this, and I've also kind of isolated where a center section is at. So for this, I think I'm going to try to use glowstone for my lighting element, and I think I'm going to keep it on the outer part of the hull, the outboard aspects of the hull, right? And bring it in as I need to in some of these other key aspect areas. And I'm also going to bring these up by half a slab, and I'm going to use these guys right here, bam, bam, right, to be the things that I need to walk around on. Now, this is probably not the right spot because I'm going to want a piece of glass there and a piece of glass here, presumably. 1, 2, 2, 2. So let me go ahead and do that, and I want to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like if I had like a little bit like this and a little bit like this on this side and a little bit like this on this side. And I don't know what the radius is for, or what the distance is for light source from a glowstone, so I'm going to have to look into that. But I think, yeah, this is kind of looking like it's going to work for me. Yeah. The more I put down to this, the better it's starting to look in my mind and in front of me. So, yeah, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth along here and get it done. I'm going to figure out the light source dimensions, but this is an odd number from here to the edge of either side. So there's 15 from here to there. So I might do it every 4 or every 5? I don't know. Let me check what the glowstone things are, and I'll fill this in a little bit and take a look, and we'll go from there. All right, my friends, we are putting in the last little bits of the floor here, and now, wow, why did it, oh, it must have bumped up on the sides. But here we go. There you go. Bam, done. So what I've done here, I'll explain this, is put the lighting segments down every 5 blocks. And then I went and did a little research, and it turns out that glowstones have the exact same light intensity as a redstone lamp and torches. It's 15. So I could put them very far apart, and they'd still have coverage. So like this one would 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Or if this guy was here, 15, 14, or 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So this block could be dark and it would still look okay, and that is why over here we did it like this, to kind of see how much there is. And I kind of think I like this look a little bit better than this look, even though that kind of breaks up the monotony a little bit better. So I'm going to think about this for a little bit, but I like what we've got going on here. Now we have a section that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide, 6, 7 wide in some spots that is unspawnable, so nothing will spawn down here. And these light sources up here, of course these light sources as well, will take care of any that might be spawning on that area. Alright, so I'm going to climb up to the top here, take a look at them from all the sides and angles, and try to figure out which way I'm going to make this thing look. And then start bringing this out, which means I need more gold. Which means a digging session! Mining in Minecraft, what are the odds? Welcome back, my friends, and as you can see, I have decided to go with the every other approach. I think this will fill in the light sources just fine, and if you look closely, you can see that I have backfilled just about everything else in with brown stained glass. These little bits here are just so I can get up and down while I'm working on things. Alright, so I think this is going to be some good lighting. You got to think four-dimensionally here, ladies and gentlemen, and anticipate there being a roof structure at about that level. Actually, that level right there. Coming across the top here, so it'll be a little bit dark, but not too dark, so this light source should be alright, or these light sources should be alright. But I've also kind of backfilled a little bit here, because this kind of stuff back in here is going to be nooks and crannies that I won't be able to actually utilize. So I'm going to end up with a floor level, probably up here somewhere, but all of this is probably going to end up being backfilled, so that the entire bottom of the ship, down in the hole, in the hold, if you will be all these trading things. So I'm going to extend this out all the way to the next side, and I think I'm going to do that in a time lapse. So hang on just a second. Well, my friends, instead of a time lapse, because we're on a community server and my replay mod doesn't work that way, I decided to come over here to 8 Ravens Place and borrow a little bit of goods. He's helping me out a little bit by giving me some gold to make some powered rails, and a little bit of stone. Actually, I had some of these already, but he's got a bunch downstairs in his super smelter. Funny story, while I was here, thank you, 8 Ravens, by the way. While I was here looking around for things, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, wood's over here, and okay, nothing's in that storage box, and okay, that's there, that's kind of okay, and there's carpet and wool here. Actually, there's a red piece of carpet over in that chest, too. I did not realize that this was a smelter, so what I had done was I grabbed the gold that was in these chests and said, oh, I can't take it anymore. So I took off everything I was wearing and put it in this chest, not knowing any better, and went about, letting my OCD kind of fall into play, kind of organizing these chests on either side. Interestingly enough, they weren't commingled so much, but up and down they did. But then when I went to go in here and check things out, I was like, where's all my stuff? Oh, no. Almost immediately I knew, and I was like, please don't have charcoal. Please don't have... It had charcoal, so I knew it was a smelter. Nothing was really destroyed, though. Like, the very first thing that dropped in was a water bucket, and then the second thing that dropped in was a gold bar, so everything was in the hoppers behind them. Here's just a quick letter that I left him, thanking him again for helping me out with the project, and letting me borrow these goodies. Anyways, let me get back over there and show you what we've got done. Oh no! I got back through my portal and came over here, and oh my gosh. As I was peeking down over the top to see what was going on, I saw that zombie kind of get into the system. I was like, no, do not get into the system. But he got into the system. Oh, now I'm so yoinked. Oh man, what am I going to do here? Alright, so... first things first, he got the blast protection and the feather falling guy. Fortunately for me, I already did the feather falling. Man, I should have loaded in a couple more buffer dudes. So, okay, lesson learned. Well, I was going to enclose it anyways, and it's going to be enclosed, but, oh, I'm so mad right now. Okay, so, well, you gentlemen will be sticking around. We might have to fill this with all green guys at the beginning. Because once one zombie comes in, attacks, and infests, then he turns and just starts working it down the line. I don't know if you got a chance to see what it looked like. Oh, man. Grumpy. All right. We shall rebuild. Okay. So, going forward... calming breaths. I need to put in the rail system bits for all these other things, but I don't have the rail lines yet. I have to actually build the rails. I just came through the portal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and get it built up. But as you can see, I've extended it back pretty far, right? And there's got to be... I didn't think this through very well, did I? There we go. Let's go get a good look at it. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I lost a little energy there. A little frustrated. I saw those guys. I was like, no, 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 no. And my bow wasn't doing anything. Well, it's only on breaking 1. I don't know what I expected, but, man, I went in there and I just was like, all right, you're all going down, guys. I'm sorry. And they had just mauled through my guys. So that was like 4 dudes I think he got. Was it 4 or 3? Anyways, this is what it looks like now. And I've got to... I think I'm going to bring it out a little bit further, but right as I was about to start the next part, ladies and gentlemen, I think I want to put in a moon pool. And if you don't know what a moon pool is, it's basically an opening underneath a ship or... underwater habitat that you can like put a submersible in of some sort and go down and out. So basically the enclosed pressure of the ship itself would, the room is enclosed and pressurized. That would prevent the water from coming up, right? So, but if there was a hole, presumably in the top, water would rush in as air escaped out. All right, but... can it fit in here? And yeah, I think it can. I think I can do it like right here. Like make this stuff kind of like a stone thing. And then have, and that might actually give me enough space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 5 space. Could I build a little submersible thing with a little redstone hatch? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kinda. I could. I could build it underneath there and then have like just the opening be the redstone hatch, a 3 by 3 inside a 5 by 5. I could. Something to think about. And the other thing to think about is then how far do I bring this? And do I terminate it? And then how do I terminate it? Because they're going to be on rails. Things to think about. Things to think about. Let me get a screenshot. Okay, my friends, we are just about there wrapping this up, and I do suggest if you find yourself doing this process that when you get to the end or to a stopping point, as I have from time to time, that you leave certain parts of the rail system in place, specifically this bit right here, like this little canoodle that goes. So I don't know how far up I'm going to go there, so let's just stop here. And leave that one. Whoop, let me get up here real fast. And take out the rest, right? Because this guy, it's not going to matter so much because this is here. But if you start putting down track over here, all of this stuff in the middle will start kind of clicking off to the side to adjoin it. And if you try to correct it, then these things start doing it. So, first things first, start at the top or the bottom. Go up, make your loop, and come down, as you saw me do, or in reverse from from this direction. It would probably look pretty much the same. But do that, or leave it like this when you get to the end, right? And then you'll be good to go. So let me just go ahead and clean this up a little bit more, get it all ready, and we'll see how we look on time. Also, using sand instead of dirt, it's a bit of a time saver, and as you can see, even if it were dirt, you could probably just dig out the dirt faster than you could mine the rails on top. Well, my friends, as you can see, I've taken the liberty of cutting off the villager breeder and transport system from the trading system for now because I need to clean up that area for sure to make things a little bit more secure, and I want to incorporate it a little bit better. And if I have, what I think I'm going to do is have it come over and drop down into a chamber that's only about 2 high, and then that'll leave me enough space to put up a dispenser rail system that'll go through the block and pick up a villager and then go to either side. And I think I can do either side by putting a rail down with a switch, and then I can just kind of manually switch which side I want it to go to depending on who comes through. But actually, it'll probably be too quick. Anyways, that's going to happen there. And then down in here, in this area that's going to be left over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, presumably. If I get that thing up there pretty quick, yeah. I could have, I think I'm going to do one of those newer sugarcane farms that I've seen that utilize slime blocks to eject the bamboo. And it's a little bit more compact, and I think I'd like to see what that's all about. I think it also uses absorber blocks, so nice little experiment for me. So I think I'm going to stick that in here, but that's a little bit later down the road. But that's what the space reminds me to do. down here at the end, I have decided, man, I really do want a moon pool. And frankly, it will be a good way to eject villagers from the system. As they come down here towards the end, what will happen is this giant section over here will be pool, and they'll come around, and we'll have a little thing that comes out, and then bloop, drops them down into the center of what will be like a 3x3 area, where the ship will be, or it'll be a submariner, you know, a submarine. And oof, do I have enough space? I think I'm going to have enough space to actually build a pretty sizable one too. And then that way I can also, am I going to be able to get out of here? No. And then that way I can build the submarine down here and put the nether portal in there. And then we can use that to transport any villagers that we don't find as useful as the others into things like iron farms, or into population areas where we're trying to create like an environment of a village peopled entirely with nitwits, for example. I might do something like that. That might be kind of fun. But I think that's what I'm going to do over there in the moon pool. And then that way, we'll have the beginning of this thing tied in, and then the back end of it can be tied in, and then we'll be done with it, as it were. And we can kind of start thinking about how we're going to floor it off and have the first sub-deck kind of finished, with the exception of that sugarcane farm I talked about over there, which I will probably refer to as a bamboo farm in the future. Also, I was thinking that when I told you before about cannons that would shoot TNT that way, out into the water, and arrows this way, I was like, yeah, because I don't want to destroy anything, but I'll shoot arrows over there. Maybe we'll get some of those creepers that are hiding in my bamboo back over there all the time. Those are like the reeds that are near the dock where all the alligators are hiding. So this is like, even though there's snow right there, it surely does feel like the Everglades when those creepers are in there. Oh, that little guy, I know he's got my number. I know you see him all the way up there. Here he comes. He's already thinking about it. Anyways, I also got to thinking that, hey, wait a minute, mob griefing's turned off, so... Oh, wait, that would blow up my dock. Damn it. Okay, so maybe I won't put cannons on this side to shoot them out that way. Unless, do they skip across water? I don't think they do. But that'd be kind of funny. Oh, but that'd be kind of fun, like if it was all ice over here. Skip across the water. How far could you shoot a TNT block over ice? That might be kind of fun. That might be a fun little game I could create. You know, shoot the creepers. Anyways. All right, but definitely, I guess arrows are going to come up here. But, who knows? I thought maybe you could blow it up because since my briefing's off, it would all respawn anyway. So you could build like a nice, like pretty town over here and be like, look at Town Candyland or whatever, and just blow it all up. But those are all things that I'm going to work on in the future because, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have for today. I have got to get going. So I hope we made a lot of progress today, enough for you. We got the floor done, as it were, and we've got a lot more of the villager trading area done. And we got our plans for how we're going to clean it up and actually get the first sub-deck finished. So I think that's pretty good, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you've enjoyed yourself, give me a thumbs up, and if you've really enjoyed yourself, do please consider subscribing for more content just like this, especially if you want to see where this ship goes. All right, until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.